Hi, and welcome to another episode of Get Close. I'm your co-host, Gio.
And I'm your host, Bart.
How come you look at me with such a dirty face?
I'm just ready for anything.
Oh, but you just were like
let me see your face. What does it look like?
I was like, hi.
And then what do I look like?
Like,
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, maybe I was just ready for anything. I don't know what's going to happen.
Which is ironic.
It's my game face. So I'm like, what are you going to do? What are you going to throw at me?
That
Especially
one, that one
is
orange
better. Top too?
So what are you saying?
I don't, you could be throwing something crazy.
Okay. Which is ironic because today I wanted to talk about how you're always such a happy person. Really?
I am happy.
I know, but like your face was such a fucking RBF moment that I was like, oh.
Really? Well, I apologize.
Oh, what's going on?
Because I think, is this my game face? Have you ever played me basketball or whatever, jiu-jitsu? Do I look like this?
No, you don't.
I don't?
No, you goof off all the time.
Oh.
You're a goofy dude. That's why it threw me off.
That's true.
How come you're so happy all the time? What's going on in your brain?
I don't know. I just feel like don't be sad.
Okay. What the fuck is going on with your nose? Also,
I don't know. You know what's crazy? I get my nosebleeds in California, which is so like counterintuitive.
But we're in Nevada.
Exactly. So I just came back from California. So watch in 2 days, no more nosebleeds, right? Chilling. And then I go to California, nosebleed, and I always bring it back.
What do you think is happening?
I don't know, because Nevada is drier, which makes sense if I have nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And it's more humid in LA, so it would be less nosebleeds, right? But the thing is, I've been to Taiwan, nosebleeds. I've been to California, Houston, wherever, all humid places, all nosebleeds. And what I think it is that Nevada, since it's drier, because it's a baby bleed, it dries immediately. So I actually get less nosebleeds even though it's dry.
And have you noticed your boogers out here are super crusty?
Crusty as hell.
I hate it. Well, I like it and I hate it. I like it because like it's easier to clean out.
Yeah, they're flickable.
What do you mean?
Because the one in California, right? You go like this.
Oh, like it gets
like you're trying to you're picking your nose. You don't want anybody to look, right? And then as you pull it out, you're like, cool. And as you pull it out, you're like, why is it still connected to my nose? And this is long string, right? So it's like, it's not flickable because you go like this or something, it might go whoopsh. You know that thing, that 25-cent thing that you get the fucking hand?
The hand.
Yeah, it's like a fucking whoopsh, like that. And you're like, oh, Jesus.
That's how you got to do the roll technique. I've seen you do it.
Those are when it's like ready to be like surf wax.
Oh, like a glue?
Yeah, when it's like, oh, this is good. Someone give me a surfboard.
Then I don't know that stringy one because that one is like a baboso, like it's like a slimy.
You never get those string ones?
Not like that.
Maybe
no, it's either super wet or it's like that, like you can make it into a ball one.
Oh, it's probably because I have sinusitis all the time, maybe.
What the fuck is sinusitis?
It's like bronchitis before your sinuses.
Did you just make that shit up?
No, it's for real. I told you I'm smart. You don't believe me?
I'm gonna look this shit up. Tell me the truth.
Sinusitis,
is it real?
Yeah.
Give me the definition of sinusitis.
I don't know the fucking definition. Nobody knows those definitions. Sinusitis.
Well, this one says sinusitis.
Whatever.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you're fucking with me or not.
Oh, what I'm just saying is, but then here, because it's crusted up, you could go you could literally feel the scoop, and then when no one's looking, you can just go.
Okay, wait, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Because you pick your nose and there's a lot. And you pick your nose like no one is watching, literally when everyone can see what you're doing.
Are you serious?
Okay. I have a video on my TikTok. On my Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Of you just going in, picking your nose.
Uh-huh.
And so the reason why I'm thinking about this is as you're describing your nose picking, you're up here.
Uh-huh.
But I go like here. What the fuck is your objective when you're sticking your finger in your nose, and how high do you think it's okay to go?
Well, you're not getting at the root causes.
So wait, what's happening in your nose in the first place?
When you're shaving your legs,
okay,
do you take the clipper and just gently graze the top hairs? Or do you hit your skin and you drag it across and make sure it's clean and you rinse it in the water?
The latter.
Exactly. So the way you pick your nose would be...
Wait. The way I shave my legs?
No, the way you pick your nose would be the way if you took a razor and you're just just dabbing it.
No, but I'm accomplishing what I'm trying to accomplish.
Nah, there's a lot up there.
But I'm not trying to... Wait, what? Okay, so what happens up there? Because I never feel compelled to go past like the cave part, right? Like there's like the wide entrance cave,
Yeah.
which is your nostril hole,
Yeah.
right? So I like kind of just clean in there. And then there's like this narrow crevice cave
Yeah.
where like you just have no wiggle room.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're trying to go in there.
Yeah. That's just because I'm a deep person and you're superficial.
No, what the fuck? You're just into fucking no.
No, what?
Maybe I am.
No, you're superficial. Like you only stay on the surface, right? And I'm
Yeah.
very like deep and I'm very empathetic, so I go really back there.
Yeah, but what's back there? What do you feel?
Fucking more boogies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand that because they're stringy. It's a stringy boogie.
Yeah.
But you feel it back there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I pull it out, it's like that sticky hand, right? Because the ones down here. Okay, so if I were to break it down in a non-scientific way, there's literally like a fisherman back there, right, with a fishing reel of boogies. So he's going like this to fish from my finger, and it's just down here wiggling around, and that's what most people feel. But because I'm experienced, I'm like, I know the fishing line goes all the way up there. So what I do is I grab that one, and then I pull the whole fishing line in, and sometimes if I blow hard enough, the whole fisherman comes out.
Yeah. Now I'm beginning to believe that you weren't born with whatever like bloody nose, like fucking syndrome, missing tissue that you have.
It's just thin capillaries that are very close to the surface of the skin, which
No,
causes it easy to rupture.
Yeah, and I think you did that.
Did
I
what?
think you ruptured your own capillary.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Why would someone do? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm just trying to clean my nose in a good way.
You know, you do a lot of things that I think everyone does like this. So I think there's a one way that everyone does things on their body, right? So I think everyone eats generally the same way. Like they'll grab a spoon kind of the same way. Like you have some people that grab the handle this way.
You're weird. You're weird.
Or like kind of like the pencil technique,
You're
right?
weird.
You don't even know where I'm going.
I know where you're going, man. You're weird.
You're weird, right?
You're the weird one.
Or like they brush their teeth a certain way, and there's like slight variations, right?
Okay.
Like, and the variation, you can kind of see the thought process, and you kind of see how they arrive to this.
Yeah.
But literally everything that you do, there's the average way, and then there's like the slight deviation way, and then there's Bart like on some fucking other planet.
Well, we all have different training.
Oh, okay. How do you know what I'm talking about?
Just like you're just talking about how mine's way different than anyone you've ever seen.
Yeah,
right?
like literally everything. Like
Everything.
something as simple as even rubbing your eyes.
Yeah.
You'll rub your eyes for literally 3 to 5 minutes.
I told you I'm having an orgasm.
How?
My eye feels good. I'm going like this. I'm like, it's like rubbing like
Okay,
a.
so what do you feel
It
first?
feels like a clitoris almost, and it just feels so good, and it just.
You don't know what the fuck, where or what the clitoris is, so don't even throw that out there. Just throw the shit you're aware of, okay, dude?
Yeah, it's right. Well, I'm a master of the clitoris.
Okay, you're
and I
missing
feel
the
it right
clitoris.
here.
That's the pee hole, dude.
Then this one, I go like this, and I feel it.
Ironically enough, your eyes do resemble vaginas.
See?
So
See?
that would be where the clitoris is. So,
Exactly.
like, is it in the corner?
No, it's literally the whole thing. So it's one of those things where like you ever like get a mosquito bite,
Yeah.
and sometimes scratching on the side feels better than right on top.
No, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
So you don't like foreplay, but
That is foreplay.
yeah.
But that's like, I'm trying to get to the source. I'm not trying to play games. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get my version of the fisherman out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I get to the source too, but then I don't neglect all the other lady parts.
So what happens? It's the corner that itches? Or is it you have dry eyes? Or is it like on the lash line?
If I were to really like break it down, from what
Please.
I've read, it's actually probably like an ADHD thing and an inflammation.
I know what inflaming, but what do you mean?
So like what I noticed, and I see this in Taika a lot, which is pretty crazy. I was reading about how like, you know how like sometimes you'll see me like, you'll like, Bart, like, why are you scratching so much or whatever, right? Or like I like stretch or whatever. And people with ADHD, they have random quirks. And I think that those quirks actually help them concentrate. Because you know when you have ADHD, it's not that you can't focus, you just focus on too many things.
Yeah.
So when you preoccupy one side of your brain, then the other side is able to focus. which is why sometimes it seems like Taika's not paying attention, or sometimes it seems like I'm not good at driving, right? But the minute I start texting, I'm a really good driver.
Don't say that because that's not true.
I know, that's just a joke. But anyways, like there's a lot of times where
even
like
if it wasn't a joke, you fucking suck at driving.
okay, but when I'm using a GoPro on like on a scooter, if I take a GoPro and I go scuba diving, I'm like 10 times better of a scuba diver. That's just how like ADHD works, right? And so I think the scratching and then like the random stretching you'll see Taika do, especially when he's nervous. The reason why he's doing that isn't because he's not trying to pay attention. It's actually because he's trying to pay attention. That's his body's form of trying to pay attention. So when we're like trying to teach him a lesson, right? And he's standing at attention, he starts like going like this. Him scratching is actually him preoccupying one side of the brain so he could pay even more attention. But then I think to that person that doesn't know, you just think, oh, this guy's trying to get out of this or whatever, or just squirming, but he's not. But anyways, I think the eye scratch and all that, it's a part of mine. It's my matured way of doing that.
Yeah.
So I think there's that ADHD component where like I scratch my eyes a lot, or like I'm an itchy person or whatever. The other part, the inflammation part, ever since I was a kid, when I would go see like a Chinese herbalist, where like those acupuncturists, they've always said I'm like what is it called? I forgot how they say it in Chinese. Yeah, weird. Like I have a lot of heat. I'm a heat kid. Like,
what does that matter?
So like they'll look at my lips, it's always red looking. So they're always trying to prescribe me stuff
cold
that's
shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to like bring me down. So like cucumbers, stuff like that. I'm not supposed to be eating like fried food. I'm not supposed to be eating like ginseng too much because it's really like inflaming. People that are naturally cold, you want the stuff that warms you up. And when you're naturally more inflamed, you have a lot of blood circulating, and I think that's what causes the itch to begin with. So that's why I even feel the itch to begin with. Kind of like, you know, when you get a mosquito bite, the reason why it itches is because it's inflamed.
Yeah, and it's
so
hot
naturally,
in that
like
area.
if you look at my palms, it's just red all the time. Like the minute I grab a barbell, my face turns red like I've been on steroids, even though I've never taken steroids in my life, you know? So it's just, I think my circulation is just hot like all the time. So because of that, it's very easy for me to itch. Couple that with ADHD like tendencies, then I'm just scratching all day.
I love how you like break a bunch of shit down.
Yeah.
And you have a white cinnamon roll just fucking sticking out of your nose the entire time.
Why? What's wrong with that?
it's just hard to focus.
Oh, well then you might need ADHD so you can actually focus.
No. I can focus really well.
No, you can't. You just told you can't focus.
You don't have
you just said you can't focus.
You don't
You
have.
just said you can't
You don't
focus.
have. How old are you, dude?
Just kidding.
You don't have like out of body experiences.
Every day, every time.
Yeah. So like I'm listening to you, but then I can see myself looking at you and then going, "This whole thing is fucking hilarious."
You want a cookie or something?
Are you trying to fight? What the fuck is going on?
I just cherish these moments so much because I rarely get a chance to talk to you one-on-one.
Yeah, so all you want to do is just fucking get me riled up and have my fucking feathers be all ruffled and shit.
Well,
and
you
then
wore
all I
that
want to do
orange
is
top like I was saying. You're trying to do something.
Yeah, I'm fucking just trying to relax myself.
Fine.
And for some reason, this relaxed me. I don't know why.
That's cutie pie.
You big stupid idiot.
So we're gonna ask him about being happy or whatever.
I mean, does that even matter at this point?
Everything matters. What are you talking about? Everything matters.
No, so like, when I think about, okay, so the reason why I'm thinking about this was because this morning it was your turn to wake Taika up.
Yeah.
So, we both have super busy schedules. So I love that about our relationship, that we get to like support each other in whatever endeavors we're trying to personally achieve. So, we both like to train. But we just don't have the time sometimes. So we'll split the parent duties. Today was your day to get Taika up, get him ready. And it was my time to like go in my meditation room, AKA our garage gym, and just work out. And, you're in there and it's quiet. And then I just hear one of his favorite songs. I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da da ba dee da. Okay. What is it? Eiffel fucking 65.
Yeah.
And, then like he slowly, like, of course I'm being a nosy ass bitch. I'm like, oh man, fun times. So I go run into the room and then I'm watching him and he like starts to wake up and he immediately wakes up with a smile. And he's always like waking up with a smile, which I think I contribute that to your genes because that's how you've always been. You've always been someone that just wakes up and is just either neutral in behavior or just like super happy. And I think the neutral behavior probably comes because you're trying to match my, not behavior, but mood. I think the neutral part is because you're trying to match me, which I tend to be a grumpy person.
Yeah. Every morning I wake up, I'm so happy I just want to jump on you. but then there are times that I did where you're all grumpy and stuff like, ooh. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've always been a grumpy
So now,
person.
like, I don't jump on you anymore. I don't hug or really like kiss you that much. I let you have your own space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I mean, I knew it was like that. I know there's people that are way more severe on the grumpy side, but like you're just so fucking happy.
Why are you so grumpy? What's the do you think it's like the last dream you had was sad? Like, and you always have that or something?
No, I think I just want to stay sleeping. I'm like a bear. Like, let me hibernate.
So when
like,
you're sleeping, you're happy. If something woke you up, then you're upset because it took you from your happy place.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. And then I think I start thinking about that feeling too much of going like, oh, I want to sleep. Why is everything so bright? Why is everything so loud? Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think?
Well, I'm trying to think, right? Like when I wake up on my own, obviously I'm happy because it's on my terms, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So
But
I'm
it's
really
not
happy.
because your alarm's going.
Well, that's not on my own. That's not on my
But
own.
you're still happy.
No, so when I'm trying to pinpoint. So if I wake up at 8, right, which is on my own, or 7 on my own, I'm happy because it's on my terms. I don't have an alarm clock on. I just naturally wake up at that time. I feel the sun on my face. It feels good. It feels like I get a whole new day. Get to do whatever I want. It's the beginning of the day. You can't go wrong. I feel like I start with a blank sheet of paper. Nothing has gone wrong. No one hit my car or nothing like that, right? And then let's say I backtrack.
You think of all that shit in the morning?
I don't logically think of it.
Right.
I feel it. When I wake up in the morning, I feel like a blank sheet of paper. I feel like fresh laundry, nice and crisp, and it feels
What?
good. Yeah, that's how I feel like every morning.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The minute I wake up, like if I could describe my day, like let's say I'm sleeping, right? And then obviously it's warm and it feels really good, especially if the AC's on. Then I'm like, when I wake up, I'm like, it's a new day. It feels like Christmas morning. Like the way movies paint Christmas morning when all the kids can't wait to open their present.
Yeah.
The day is my present. And I can't wait to open it and see what's going to happen.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, so like I'll wake up and that's the feeling. Like I wake up and I'm like, what cool stuff is going to happen, right? And I'm older now, so I'm just laying in bed or I'm like, I'm more like, what is it called? It's more of a cerebral feeling. Taika, the minute he wakes up, you just hear his 2 feet hit the ground because he's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
But we feel the same thing, and I know where it's coming from because you're like, wait, this kid literally was just eyes closed. His eyes are open, and now he's like Speedy Gonzalez. Like, where does all his energy come from? And I think it's the same thing as a Christmas morning where, like, he just wakes up, bright new day, and just, and of course, his favorite place to go is our bed. So he just runs and jumps into our bed. And even like, I don't know if you've ever seen him like get to our bed. He doesn't want to wake us up, right? He has his like little blanket, and he's like, and he just
yeah.
can't contain it. He just can't contain it.
Yeah.
Like if we were more receptive, he would just jump all over us.
Yeah.
But since he knows that we're sleeping, he's like, it just tickles the feet a little bit, like that. So that's how I feel, but just like a 37, 38-year-old version of that, where I still feel it on the inside, and then. Yeah, like when I go brush my teeth, it's nice and happy.
Where did this come from? You were just naturally born with it?
I thought it came from somewhere. Well, actually, I thought it came from my mom.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Where like I cried once, and then my mom beat the crap out of me. Where she told me like, you better wake up with a smile every freaking morning.
What the fuck does beat the crap out of me mean though?
Well, so for that age, it wasn't like feather dusters, but it's more like a lot of chastising, like that kind of stuff, you know. And then like maybe
That's so different.
Maybe a couple of slaps or something here and there. Yeah, so probably a couple of slaps and that stuff, and then and I was like, okay, I gotta wake up with a smile. And then I don't know what happened, but with Taika, we never done any of that, and he's been a happy baby since.
Always.
Yeah, like even since swaddling, you know, you take the swaddle and he's like,
yeah.
And he's just like so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't feel any of that. So for me, when I wake up, it has to be on my own terms for me to kind of settle into like my body, into this fucking planet, like into this time. Like I do like waking up with the sun on my face. I do like birds chirping. I do like that. But I'd like it to be slow. Maybe, do you think it's a contribution of ADHD maybe? Where everything's just kind of sped up?
It could be, because a few years ago, you know how we got our brain scanned?
Yeah.
And then when we got our brain scan at that, by that UCLA neuroscience professor, he says he can sense I have high cortisol in the morning.
Yeah. What's cortisol?
So cortisol is the stress hormone.
Yep.
But stress not in the way that layman's take it.
Yeah.
So the average person, the casual person that's using the word stress, thinks of it as a negative thing.
Right. Stress is just
because usually stress is just means there's extreme stimulus and now you need problem solving. So for the regular person, when they feel stress, they're like, oh, there's some shit happening. I can't pay the bills or whatever. You know, that's that feeling. From a scientific point of view, high cortisol, the stress hormone, just means I'm in problem solving and activity mode, stimulation mode. So as soon as I wake up, he said he can tell I have high cortisol. So for me to take advantage of my cortisol levels, he says he recommends me as like one of those guys. The first thing I should do is do something productive. Like that fits.
Like mental or physical?
Anything.
I see.
That's what's gonna fit my hormonal peaks.
Yeah.
And he says everyone has cortisol spikes randomly, right? So you hear about like the quintessential like midnight artist.
Yeah.
Those guys probably get a high cortisol at night where they're like, ooh, I'm in the zone now. Hell yeah, right?
Yeah.
But I get mine in the morning as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
So that's probably the similar feeling if people like once they get to like 10, like there's some artists are like they can't wait till it's 10 so they can work on their art.
That was me.
And then now they're like, now I'm gonna open up my Christmas present.
Yeah.
That's probably what I feel the minute I wake up. And that feeling is so strong, it feels like a hit of caffeine.
Whoa.
Like I could be tired, right? Like I wake up at 4 a.m. and like my body is so tired I want to go to sleep, but I'm blue, da-boo, dee-da-boo, da-boo, da. Like that's so strong, it'll compel me to wake up. So I remember like when I used to go visit my family in Asia, and you're just jet lag or whatever, right? So as soon as that hits me, I get up and I can't go back to sleep even though I'm exhausted. Like I'm so tired, I'm like just sleep. But as I'm sleeping, it's literally like doons, 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 like that. And I'm like, fine, I get up. So I'll watch TV for like 5 hours until everyone else wakes up. Because that feeling, that cortisol hit is so strong, I need to do something.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Okay, but like, don't you think that, so the cortisol, problem solving, energy, natural caffeine, get out of bed, do something type of shit, that doesn't necessarily correlate with being happy though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's the part I'm like, what the fuck? Because your mindset's so positive. You're like, brand new day, blank slate. Like these are all positive things. Where the fuck does that come from? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, or more. I know I start feeling burnout for sure when I just work too much, I don't sleep enough, and I don't get quality time with my family and friends. That are the biggest factors when I start feeling unmotivated, So I really do try to look out for those things. And we tend to associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feel burned out, and BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. And I absolutely love that, because when I've felt burnt out before, I didn't even realize I was burnt out. I just thought that I was changing. And unfortunately, this change was very heavy and negative. And it wasn't until I started talking about it that I was like, whoa, I'm actually experiencing burnout. But a lot of us don't have access to speaking to people that we trust and can confide in. And also some of us might live in areas where, we don't have the help that we need because maybe we live in a super rural area. But BetterHelp is here to help. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to and you just don't feel comfortable. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Get Close listeners, yep, you guys are going to get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com betterhelp.com/getclose. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/getclose, GETCLOSE.
Maybe just choices, like choosing to be happy.
Yeah. So you wake up and there's like, you're feeling different things.
Um,
And you're like, nah, rain. Hello, sunshine.
I think, I mean, who I am now, it's probably, so I never know, right? I never know if it's like nature versus nurture. Like, I never know if I conditioned myself to be this way.
Right, or if you were just born that way.
Or if I was born that way, because I thought I would have conditioned myself to be this way. Like, I remember like my first hit and run, like someone hit my car, right, and just drove off. And I look at it, obviously my first feeling is like, oh my God, what the fuck? Now I got to spend like $1,000 fixing this shit, you know? And then my second thought is like, okay, either I can be this grumpy guy all day because someone hit my car, or maybe I should kick in the other side so it looks funnier. And then make it happy, right? Like, it's my choice. Do I want to be like, oh, someone hit my car? Why did they do that to my car? There's someone near the car. Why did they hit the car? Or I could just go do something about it. And I think just like little things like that.
Yeah, where does that come from then? I'm gonna get deep today.
I don't know. I think just choosing, do I want to be sad or happy? Because life is always going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. And then, so I always thought maybe it's something I slowly trained myself, right? And then and that's all actually a muscle that all comedians have, right? Like the sickest of comedians, the sickest of comedians can literally make fun of like Ukraine and Russia conflict.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll all laugh about it because wow, what a great perspective.
Yeah. If they're good. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're like the sickest ones. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, so that's actually a muscle that you exercise to be able to change perspectives, like flip it 180.
Yeah.
And turn something painful on its head. Right.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart's special, Laugh at My Pain.
Yeah.
But, now that I see Taika, and even if he just banged his toe and he's in pain, like he's in pain for less than like 10 seconds, and I think he has an out of body experience, and he starts laughing because he realized like probably the position he's curled up in is like the funniest thing he could ever think of, or something. So I'm like, wow, is that genetic then? Is that nature?
Yeah.
What I thought was nurture, I'm like, is that nature?
Yeah.
You know?
Shit. So we're just never gonna know.
I really don't know, and I think it could be I'm naturally like that.
Yeah.
But also as I got older, and like I think when you're young, you're really impulsive, so you don't know you have conversations with yourself yet. It's literally like candy, and then you just want it. Versus when you're older, you're like, I'm on a diet. If I eat that candy,
yeah,
it's
you contemplate.
Like you have like so many. You could think long term, short term. You could think all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Like I'm gonna have cavities. Like you could think all kinds of stuff. And when I was in that more have a conversation with yourself phase, I was able to see literally every time something good or bad happened, I can see choices. And then it was up to me if I want to be happy or sad about it.
Yeah. Do you think you modeled this off of anyone? It's hard, right? It's hard to think back, but like,
well, I always think back to my parents. My dad's grumpy for sure. Like he's never been like the optimistic guy. But I think my mom's pretty optimistic. Yeah, I think my mom, like, cause I remember like the first time I moved out, I came back. So I had a really rocky relationship with my dad, right? To the point where we're like throwing stuff all the time, yelling, like pissed at each other. You're not my son. Like those type of things were thrown around a lot. And then I would sleep at my friend's house. I'm like, out of here. And I would get so pissed. I'm like mad for 3 days. So obviously I can't even do school or concentrate, So when I came back from the Marine Corps, I was very determined to change my life around. And we would still have the same type of relationship. So I'm like, man, there's no way I'm going to do well in college. If I'm trying to use the Marine Corps as like a launch pad for the rest of the success for my life, there's no way this turbulent relationship at home is going to be good for school. So I was starting to look for places to move out to. And when I talked to my mom about it, like my mom was like, oh, okay, well, how much do you get from GI Bill and that kind of stuff? And I was like, well, at the time, I get like $500 a month. I could probably work. So I could probably get a place that's like $800 and I'll have a little bit extra cash for spending money or whatever. And then so we're just like talking about it. And in that moment was when my mom was starting to think about, well, what if like, she goes, I have some equity in my house. What if I buy a house and then you rent from me and your other buddy also rents from me? Then instead of the money going down the drain in terms of rental,
so smart.
you'll be paying off a mortgage. And then over a few years, like, that house eventually could be yours if you could get it cheap enough and all that. So like it was, I think that like turn lemons into lemonade, I probably got that from my mom, because I was always finding like, I always felt like this positive like drive at the end. Even
That's so cool.
Yeah, even if I got kicked out of school, obviously get my ass whooped, right? But then afterwards she was like, hey, you know what? But I found this military school and it might be cool because then you could teach you some of these things. So I think like after you hit the bottom, maybe I got it from her, where she's always like, okay, so now we hit the bottom. So on the rise to the top, there's a nice light. We just got to follow. We just got to follow that brightness.
Dang.
Maybe.
I have the wrong person in this seat. I want to talk to her. That's such a dope gift to have. To be like, okay, cool. We can't get any worse than this. Let's go back up.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Is it?
What do you mean? Of course it's cool. I don't see anything negative coming from that. You know what I mean? It's like kick them down for like as much as you want, but they don't stay there for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think that's a fucking superpower.
Yeah.
That's sick as fuck.
And I know that like even at my core, I'm like that I'm like happy. Cause like in MMA, like when I'm getting my ass beat.
I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't know why.
Like, ooh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's a good one.
Or I could get my ass beat, like, oh, what am I getting fucked up? What am I getting fucked up, man? You know, or just take it and have fun with it and start like, you can't hit me here, or you can't hit me here, you can't hit me here, and then just, you know, and just like.
But what, aren't you scared you're gonna rile them up and they're really gonna all fuck your ass up and be like, shut up, you fucking goof?
Then I gotta be even more creative.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, well then you're actually no help to me then, because I'm trying to pinpoint where I can shift my shit to be more like that. And you're like, I don't know.
Well, what about, let's start with you then. What about, when something bad happens, do you see two choices like right away? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So why do you choose the grumpy choice?
I think I'm not as grumpy as like the average person. I definitely do think I'm way more on the positive end. But then I see you, and you're like on some fucking godly level.
Really?
Of happiness, yeah.
Oh.
Like even when we used to fight like crazy, right? Like the regular fucking toxic couple fights.
Yeah.
You would bounce back really fast, unless it was like some fucking heartache shit.
I felt like
then
you
you'd be
bounced back fast.
Sad little puppy. Really?
Yeah, because I'd be pissed for hours. And then you're like Joe and the Shit Asian Mom Says skit, where you're like fucking pissed. And
Hello?
then, and someone calls you like, hello, how's it going? When I'm pissed, I don't give a fuck who's calling. I'm hanging up on all of them. Like everyone called me, I'll fucking just hang up on all of them. I don't have fucking time for this, but I'm so pissed. I don't have selective pissness. So when I see you and the neighbor's like, hi, and you're like, hi. Like I'm like, whoa, that's fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny, because that same like shift that I can do is something you say you can do when stress is involved, right? Like for me, when there's work shit happening, I can't separate it. And I'm like, my emotion of stress, I drag it in every fucking aspect of my life. So I can't hang out with you guys because I'm thinking about work shit. And you're like, yeah, me too, but I just can't compartmentalize it. And then I'm like, wait, what do you mean you can't compartmentalize? Fuck, I don't know why I can't say that. Your happiness and pissness. It's the same. It comes from the same place.
That's crazy. So how come you can compartmentalize relationship fights?
Yeah.
Or relationship stress?
Yeah.
But you can't compartmentalize work stress.
I wish I knew, because if I knew that answer, I would fucking do that. Because like, I'm not pissed at everyone else. I'm just pissed at you. And I want to talk to you.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm like, they didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that pissed me off.
Mine's the opposite, because I can compartmentalize work stress because that's work. I can't compartmentalize like the stress I get from you because you are my life.
Yeah, but what did all the other people do to you? Why do they get that version of you?
What do you mean? I can compartmentalize it.
No, you said you can't because you're hanging up on fucking everyone that's fucking calling.
Yeah, because you're my life.
That's cute.
I know it's cutie. So when I'm stressed from my life, then that's the whole me.
Are you saying my priorities are fucked up?
It could be. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying
I know you're not saying it. I'm not saying that you're saying. I just more of a rhetorical. Or maybe more of a question to myself.
Yeah, for me it's just like if I'm fucked up with you and you're my life, then nothing else matters.
That's true.
So I'm like,
you know what I think it is? I
What?
think I don't want to let a lot of people down. So I think that's why it probably stresses me because I know there's so many things that count on me.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But I also know that in terms of work, no one else is thinking that.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like everyone has a
And
shot.
that doesn't stress you out that no one else is thinking of that shit?
No, because it's an agreement we all have,
Yeah.
right? So when we have a work group, our agreement is we're going to work together, right? So I know people that have kids, dinner time, I'm sure they're not thinking about what the next sick work idea is. I know they're having dinner with their kids, just like how I'm going to have dinner with my kids. So for me, it's very clear on like what we're trying to do with our time and our shared initiative.
Yeah.
The only thing that transcends hours and projects is you and me.
Interesting. So speaking on getting our brain scanned at that neurological center.
Yeah.
That doctor told me that I'm a high functioning person with a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
And that's what attributes to a lot of like my successes, if you will. Because my brain never turns off and it's constantly trying to problem solve a bunch of shit. Which sucks because then that's what could probably be attributing or contributing to me not being able to compartmentalize.
But you can compartmentalize us. Like how do I piss you the fuck off and you can go and like work and do stuff?
That's true because I see it as so different.
You piss me off?
Yeah.
My whole being is pissed, right? So if my whole being is pissed, I can't do JK. I can't do Barbell Brigade stuff. I don't want to go play basketball with people. I don't want to do nothing.
Why? What happens?
Because my whole being is pissed. It's
what
like,
does that mean?
It's like this. You break my arm, right?
I don't know if I've ever even been that level to pissed either.
If you break my arm, like you hurt my being, right?
Yeah.
I don't magically go, oh, time to lift weights. I compartmentalize that broken arm for my weights, right? Oh, I compartmentalize my broken arm for JK. It's you hurt my being. Whether it's physical or emotional or mental or whatever.
Maybe I don't feel as big as you do then.
Maybe, but what I'm saying is when you hurt my being, that's that. But when I'm like talking about work stuff, that's like you're not hurting my being. It's like someone like they crash into my car, right? They crash into my car. Ow, that sucks. I parked my car in the garage. When I'm going on a 5-mile hike with my buddies,
Out of sight, out of
I
mind.
don't even remember it because
Yeah.
that's not my being. That's what I'm talking about. When my relationship with you is my being, it's my heart. It's like how I feel.
Damn. I don't know if I've ever even been that sad.
Well, how come you can't compartmentalize work? How come work goes into your whole 24 hours?
Maybe, well, I'm saying maybe it's not even a compartmentalizing thing. And it's more so I just don't feel big. Or like I don't feel
It seems like you feel big because from like the work stuff, you'll be stressed out in your regular day.
Fuck, you're right. I do. It is a big.
Yeah, like I'll see you later on.
I won't
like,
even be able to eat.
Yeah, I'll see you later on the couch for like a whole hour. I'm like, what's going on? You're like, I just need to veg out. I've never needed to just veg out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I'm stumped.
Like sometimes it takes you a whole day to recover. And for me,
It'll
like.
take me fucking weeks.
For me, I might just say, give me like 30 minutes. And I'm like, let's go. Let's do the next thing.
Damn, I need to learn. That's some shit that I need to really learn and pay attention to. Because if I could do it with us if we're pissed. You know what I think it might be? When we're pissed, like it's never really that big of a deal. Right? Like it's either egos clashing or it's probably always ego. And it's not it's not like a mind-boggling problem. You know, I think it's more so just egos that like I know it's not that big of a deal. So it's not unknown and it's not scary to me. So that doesn't stress me out. That could be it.
It could be. It could be the way that I feel emotional problems. I feel it much bigger than you do. Maybe because I am so happy, you know? Maybe because I am so happy all the time that the minute I feel a
I'm
little
able to
bit,
find those buttons.
yeah, as soon as I feel negativity, it really fucks with me because I'm like, oh fuck, I really hate this feeling, and it really destroys me. Yeah,
What does it make you feel like?
when we have like a fight,
Well, when with that destroys you feeling, what does that feel like? Can you paint like a picture? Can you give me like an analogy?
it just feels like I just feel pissed. It just feels like life's not worth living.
Whoa!
Yeah,
That's fucking massive.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
like it makes me want to like just like cut my leg off or something.
Whoa! I think I've only felt that once or twice in my life. This is prior to also to me being a fucking emotional wreck as a teenager where I really wanted to end my life, but it wasn't really even that serious. But past that, I think I've only felt that like maybe one time.
No, for me, I think because I'm so happy and everything can be so happy and you could all choose to be happy. When it gets to that point, it makes me feel defeated. Like, how do we let it get here?
Damn. Do you think you might be viewing the situation a little too serious?
Could be, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're feeling
because you're asking me how I feel,
yeah.
and that's the picture I'm painting. Is that how I feel?
I
could be
see.
feeling something
Yeah.
wrong, but that's just how I feel. Or I could be thinking about it wrong, but that's how I feel.
I get you.
Yeah.
Damn. I never knew that.
Yeah. It feels so bad. Like whenever we fight, like it just feels so bad. It feels like I failed you, you failed me. It feels like we failed Taika. It feels like we just took a fat shit on the concept of marriage to everyone in the whole world, because we all agreed that this is what how we value marriage, right? When we go, oh, you guys are married, cool. Like we have an understanding, right? This line draws through the whole universe. We all understand what marriage feels like. It just feels like we just took a fat shit on it.
Okay, so your ideal relationship would look like what?
My ideal relationship would be full of empathy and intention base. That's how it would be full of. So yes, ego sometimes comes in the way, right? I think, and we're not all in our A game and stuff, but I think my ideal relationship is I always view you. It would be like both of us on ecstasy. It would feel like I always have your back because I have extreme empathy and I can only think for you and I know all your intentions are pure and good and you do the same to me. Can you imagine having a fight on ecstasy? It's impossible.
Be a polite fight.
No.
Be like, no, you're the best. Stop.
Yeah, like that, right?
You're the best.
That would be my ideal relationship because that's how I try to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. I mean, I think that's literally everyone's ideal relationship.
Yeah, but I actually try though.
Yeah, you do.
Which I don't know if many people actually try that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is why like sometimes like someone will say something, they leave the room, and then there'll be like 4 people kind of like irked by it. And I'm like, oh no, I think maybe they meant it like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like I find myself being usually that guy.
Yeah.
Like, it could be like that. Because I'm just trying to I'm like, obviously this person's not trying to kill us because then they would try to kill us. So the words probably came out wrong or whatever. And I'm sure this person has intentions because they've been around for like 10 years. So they're probably meaning it like this, you know? Because if they don't want to be around, they probably won't be around. They just leave. So if they've been around for 10 years, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So maybe we could view it like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to live as if I'm on ecstasy with that extreme empathy.
Yeah.
To feel what people's intentions are.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to live.
And that's why I think I get so mad or when it gets to a point because we both lost empathy in each other.
Yeah.
In that moment when we're fighting, not only did you not have empathy for me, I also didn't have empathy for you, and I feel so bad.
Dang.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, oh, maybe you weren't exposed. Because I was exposed to a lot of, like, hot and cold behavior, you know? Like, super heated, super angry, yelling at the top of my lungs, not throwing shit. Like, I didn't grow up with physical violence. But it was definitely a lot of emotional stressors, you know? So like it was like a constant up and down, and it just fluctuated so significantly that like I was trying to attribute me being comfortable in that area to that, but then you also grew up that same way too, and you're not like that.
Well, I think the difference between you and me, I feel like you're half closed off all the time.
What do you mean?
Like, I think when I meet people, it's literally, this is who I am, as my asshole.
Yeah.
I think you're very closed off, and then when people earn your trust, you open it up more and
Even
more.
now?
Even now.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're
I
pretty.
feel like I've worked on that so hard.
You are way better than you were before.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not as open as me.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. The minute we wake up, I lay out my fucking swap meet for you to look at. Right?
What do you mean? Oh, like I don't do that. What do you mean? Like,
because even
what
when
do
you're
you mean
grumpy, when you wake up, like, you're already like protected. I'm kind of grumpy. Oh, we gotta protect it.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to give you the nasty stuff. Not nasty, that was the wrong word. But I'm not trying to give you the grumpy stuff. I'm trying to just contain it so I can get over
But you're
it.
doing it for yourself.
Well, I'm doing it to protect you.
Ultimately for yourself.
No, because I don't want you to get offended or feel sad. I'm not trying to ruin your sunshine.
Let's say we wake up in the morning, right? And both of our breath smells like shit.
What do you mean, let's say?
Okay.
That's literally what happens.
And let's say I want to smell it. Would you let me smell it?
No, you sick fart.
Exactly. Because it's for you. You could say you're worried about my nose.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you don't want people to smell your bad stuff.
It's not because I'm embarrassed. I feel bad for you.
Exactly. But
I'm not embarrassed.
If I told you I'm okay with it and I want to smell it, why won't you let me smell it?
That's a good question. I thought that's what I was doing it for.
No, then ultimately it's for you.
But what am I trying to hide?
Exactly. Because if you told me, I would go, here you go.
You would say that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
and
think
so that tells me I'm already like this. Here's my swap meet.
Yeah.
And yours closed off already.
Yeah.
And that's why I think
I go, you know what I'm thinking?
What?
I'm like, man, you're so stupid. Why do you don't even know what you want. I'm gonna protect you.
But you don't know how I'm gonna enjoy it. And that's not empathy, right? When you go, you're so stupid,
Yeah,
instead
it's
of going,
not.
wow, this guy's a genius. He must know how to enjoy this better than I do.
Duh.
Right? That's empathy.
Don't ever ask me to shit on your chest or anything.
Because remember, like when we eat with people, remember, like, everything I go, when someone's world renowned and this fool's eating fucking, I don't know, like duck testicle and stuff, most people are like, ugh. For me, I'm like, if he's a Michelin star chef and he says this duck testicle is good, I have low quality taste buds. That means I
stop there.
I need to keep eating this until I experience what he experienced. Then I have elevated my palate.
Yeah.
Right? So I try to operate with empathy, where I'm like, what does this guy know that I don't know? Obviously, I'm not in his realm. And then so that's the same thing where if I had bad breath, instead of going, you're stupid, you don't know what you're smelling, if you go, this guy must not be a genius, then it's a different flip. So I think you already start off.
You're a superior human, babe.
I think you're already controlled like this.
Yeah.
And I just start off like this. So I think when I'm like this, when I get stabbed in the heart, it hurts like crazy. But I think for you, since you're already like this, it goes through the armor first, and I go beep in the heart a little bit, you know? Because you've already been kind of protected.
Yeah.
But I'm already like full, like open for whatever to happen. So I think when I get hurt, it hurts me so bad.
You've been cutie.
Why?
Because like you're saying all these vulnerable things and you still have that white ass tissue in your mouth. I mean in your nose, and it's super cute. Because like I could see you saying it as like 4-year-old Bart. And that's really cute. And I think it's such a superior thing.
Why is it superior?
Because you're very vulnerable, and to be very vulnerable, you have to be very humble, and to be very humble, you have to have little to no ego as possible, right? And then when you're able to diminish your ego, then you're able to learn so much. You're able to take in so much, you know, which contributes to you already being smart and then just becoming even smarter, because you're just so receptive to so much information that you're not even held back by, because you're not viewing it as negative or positive. You're just viewing this information as information, and it's just all fucking getting into your fucking motherboard.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking eating it all up. You're like a little information Pac-Man. That's fucking super cool. I'm really trying to understand my parts, the parts in my life that are super guarded by ego. I'm even reading a book on ego right now. It's called Ego is the Enemy. Because I'm really just trying to, and it's so funny because as I'm reading it, I realize right now there's still so much ego. Because as I'm reading it, I'm like, duh, yeah, I know that, obviously.
What's one of the things that's so much ego as you're reading it?
Like staying humble, right? Like like literally what I just said about you. Like if you're humble, then you can be more vulnerable. You can take in more information. You tend to be more on the quiet side because you're literally just trying to learn and listen and just be present, right? And I'm going, yeah, obviously, duh. Instead of just going, like, instead of trying to work out how I'm not doing.
Yes, that's the truth. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like being on that person's side.
Yeah.
You're already like, duh.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know this? Just skip chapters, please.
Yeah. I hear myself fighting myself. And as I read it, I'm like, yeah, obviously. And then I'm going, yeah, bitch, obviously, but you're not doing it. And I'm going, yeah, you're right. So I'm like constantly fucking going back and forth in my mind of going like, yeah, fucking losers, shut the fuck up. You don't know shit. You talk too goddamn much. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're so right. As I'm reading this book.
That's good.
What's good that I said, yeah, bitch, shut your mouth?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah, no, it's super cool. It's super cool. Maybe your whole happiness state of being could be a bunch of things, right? It could be genetic. It could be preconditioning. It could be just examples like your mom or whatever. But all of that kind of just reinforces the fact that you don't run on ego.
Well, I try not to. I'm sure we all run on ego.
Of course.
I just try.
I mean, ego is not
to.
Ego is also like, we see ego as a bad thing, but it's also a good. Ego is just ego, right? Like it's there to protect us from things, obviously. But I think when we lean into that too much, then that's when it's.
The way that I see it is all those things, right? Like ego, empathy, all of those things. They're like energy sources, almost like a battery.
Yeah.
Or like a power source, like a flame, actually, like fire. And I think it's all dependent on the usage.
Yeah.
To
keep
make
warm or fucking burn all the bridges.
Exactly, to be beneficial or to be detrimental.
Yeah.
Because extreme empathy is also bad.
Yeah.
Because then someone can like literally come up to you and then go, give me your fucking money, I'm gonna blow your brains out. And you're like, oh, this guy, poor guy, daddy issues, and oh man, I just feel so bad for you. And he just fucking blows your brains out because you didn't give him the money, because you have too much empathy, So I think like everything it's a power and it's an energy source, and you gotta use it.
Or you could be an enabler.
Yeah, and you gotta use it, So
yeah.
So even with like the ego thing, I think it's really important to have, but to channel it in a healthy way.
Right.
But one of the reasons why I think people don't try shit and actually limit their growth is because ego.
100%.
Like, I don't want to look like that on roller skates. I don't want to look like that in dance class. I'm not going to fit in, and it's just all this like, I. And then you end up not doing jack shit and staying in your comfort zone. And then you just ultimately doesn't grow, which also your ego is just being nurtured in a very negative way.
Yeah.
And then your self-esteem goes down, and like it's just a whole bad cycle,
Yeah. Yeah. That was one thing I noticed recently with just watching Taika play. So right now he's really into drums.
Yeah.
So like, thank God, right? Because we got him a drum set how long ago? Maybe 2 years ago?
I got him when he was 2.
Yeah, in hopes that he would just be curious about it. And it's not until he's like almost 5 that he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Fucking banging his chest, making beats, fucking on his lap and stuff. And I see him play on the drums, and I just see him completely be free. And it was really cool to see that, because I only hang out with people my age, right? Like, how weird would it be to hang around with kids if I'm not getting paid to do so? So, like, I don't really get to see pure freedom, because after a certain age, too, kids start feeling that ego and, like, start feeling different things where they're, like, now shy or reserved, or, like, they hold back. It might not be ego, but it might be other reasons. But when I was watching Taika play, he was just so free. Like, he didn't care to, like, play holding, like you could see him just experimenting. Like, I'm gonna hold the sticks this way, or I'm gonna, instead of using sticks, I'm gonna use this. Like, you can see his wheels turning, and he didn't care what he looked like. He didn't care who was listening. It was literally me. He was allowing me to be in his world. And it wasn't like, he wasn't trying to share a world, nor was he trying to live in my world, right? Because we all live in our own world, regardless if we believe it or not.
Yeah.
But we all live in our own, like, we're literally just walking around with our fucking invisible headphones in our own head.
Yeah.
But Taika, like, watching him experiment and play and, like, explore, it was just so refreshing. And I'm like, fuck. It showed me how far removed I am from that. And it really showed me, like, how much ego I run off of. Well, I don't know if it really showed me, but it definitely put that into my face more.
Yeah, it's a good comparison to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I was watching him do that, I'm like, fuck, I need to be more like that. Because it doesn't matter. So I've been reading a lot more these past couple of years. And I don't tend to read just one book at a time. I like any free time I have, I'm either listening to a book or I'm reading a book, or I'm just trying to take in just different schools of thought. And it doesn't matter what realm of, like, literature I'm reading, whether it's self-help or business or finance or just, maybe not fiction. I don't really read too much fiction for whatever reason. They always tell you, literally every fucking realm, genre is always like, nobody knows anything, right? Like, even scientists, they're probably the closest to knowing something, but then this new discovery happens, and now everything they knew has completely changed to, fuck, you really didn't even know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because I'm like, growing up, you think adults know more, or teachers or doctors or all these other people have it figured out. And literally those same people are letting you know, like, I don't know anything. We can't predict anything. We really do not know shit. And, like, knowing that, I'm going, fuck, I really have to let go of whatever, I'm holding on to that prevents me from trying new things or saying things or being more open or not having this, like, guard that you just mentioned I have all the fucking time.
You know what's crazy is you'll notice, like, the highest level coaches and professors, they're the most humblest ones.
Yeah.
Because they actually know the most.
But they know they don't know shit.
And they know that it's barely scratching the surface. So the guys that are at the top are usually the ones that go, I don't know shit. And what's crazy, it's like the middle to the lower level coaches that are always like, I know everything, and this is dogma. You can't change it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah, but I don't know. I got to be more like Bart. We all got to be more like Bart.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I know you have your moments of genius. We all have our moments of genius, but for sure, I got to strive to be more like that. So if you ask me to fucking smell my stinky breath, I'll let you smell my stinky breath. You just can't make fun of me.
What?
It goes back.
What? It goes back to your ego? See? That's the true colors, though. It goes right back to your ego, and that's why you don't want me to.
I know, but I think our brain is so complex and so fucking smart that it'll justify why it's not ego, which further fucking solidifies that it's all ego.
The minute you need to justify something, it's ego.
All right, dude, stop calling me out so much. This whole podcast, I've been calling myself out. You've been calling myself out. I get it. I'm a work in fucking progress, okay?
That orange top's ego. I've been telling you.
Hey, it's a cute top.
It is cute.
Thank you. All right, well, seems like we've reached the end of our podcast. Anything you want to say, fucking cinnamon roll nose?
This time I actually do.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. You guys do not... I'm just kidding.
So this time I actually do. And I get a lot of DMs and people, like, wanting to know about entrepreneurship and my thought process.
I even get those DMs for you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. And like just kind of like how I plan or design my life. And I always figured, like, man, I've made a lot of mistakes in the last, like, 10, 15 years because I haven't had a mentor. And just like comparing how it took 7 or 8 years for JK to break 7 figures and then for Barbell Brigade to do the same thing in, like, 4 years. It just shows the more you know, like, the faster success is, right?
Right.
So I'm starting a mentorship program, actually.
Congratulations. When you said this was happening, I'm so excited for everyone to like get a piece of you because you're just so inspiring.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
Yeah, but don't I'm never going to say that again.
Fine. And so, yeah, I'm starting it. And if you guys are interested, just look out. I'm still working on it in the back end, but I do have a name, and it's called Times 100.
There you go.
And it's because I realize everything that you do every single second, at the end of a certain period, whatever you do is the sum of the period before it. So you're literally like your times 100 of what you do now.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so important to be very aware of how you process things, plan things, prioritize things. And so the mentorship group that I'm starting, it's going to be like pretty much like a segmented class each time so that we can focus on this group of people. If they want to do it again, that's perfect. But there's a beginning or end, and we walk through a bunch of lessons and principles that I live my life by. And then from there, take a little break, and then we'll start the next class up. So stay tuned for that. If you see me talking about times 100, you know where you guys saw it first. It'll be on my Instagram, and I believe this mentorship group will be ready in a few weeks, so just stay tuned.
Nice. All right, there you go. That's amazing. Don't sleep on that. Trust me, Bart is a very unique person. It's someone that you definitely want to model your life off of, and by like, I mean, you're just such a righteous dude. You're just such a straight fucking arrow. I'm just so stoked that you're going to share that with the world. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.